What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tonyd2wild checking in once again, back in the building today, guys, with my top 10 sneaker pickups of 2024. Now, I know you guys are probably waiting on it. I'm working on my list because it's a tough year to pick out 10 sneakers, man. It's not easy. We've had a pretty good year overall, and there's a lot of shoes that I want to make sure I don't leave out. So I'm just making sure that my list is as best as it possibly can be. But with that said, I do feel like my personal favorite pickups are going to be different than what I rank sneakers of the year, because there's a lot of shoes that I personally like that maybe not everybody else likes, or as the overall impact, I feel like there's a difference, and I'm okay with that. And at the same time, there's some shoes that I would personally like to get that are on that list that I probably just don't got either. You feel me? There's shoes I missed out on. So without further ado, man, let's get straight into it and start off with number 10. Coming in at number 10, guys, we have the Foam Posit 1 Kazuya. Now, Tekken and Nike collaborated on a sneaker, and I think this is definitely going to be on the top 10 sneaker of the year list, because I believe this collaboration is just the beginning and the tip of the iceberg, what we're gonna see from gaming and sneakers. This shoe is also a very impactful shoe because it aligned with Soulplay, and Soulplay was the only sneaker store that was able to release these publicly and in store. These did, however, release a little earlier in the year at Evo, but then later on released exclusively at Soulplay. October 4th was the release date, and they retailed for $250. And these, in my opinion, are the better of the pair. There was a Gen version, and the Gen version did well as well, and that one was released on a bigger measure from other stores out there. But this one was a little bit more exclusive, and I think there's a good reason so. It's overall just a phenomenal shoe. The details on here, from the jacket of Kazuya, but as well as Kazuya being a sneakerhead and that playing along with this, and then also these being featured in Tekken 8. We've seen what Nike and what Jordan Brand has been doing recently, you know, just mixing in the gaming with the streetwear and sneaker wear. We've seen it over and over, back-to-back releases of Jordans dropping over on Fortnite right now. Fortnite characters got the black toe Reimagined before we did. I think they even dropped the Black Cats or something recently as well. They're dropping shoes before we even get them. These damn Fortnite characters are getting shoes before us now. Well, technically I did review them, and I do that. Yeah, but from the public, the general public, Fortnite is out here, they got the plug, basically. They got the plug. With that said, though, we saw it also with the foam posits featured in Tekken 8, and these are just phenomenal. The details are phenomenal, and I think this is definitely going to be on a lot of people's sneaker of the year list, at least for mine. But this is number 10. Coming in at number 9, the Travis Scott Jordan Jumpman Jack. These released on April 30th for a retail price point of $200. And a lot of people are gonna hate them because they're hyped. They're hyped. And they go for a little bit over retail. But I like them. I think these are definitely going to be another one that's on the sneaker of the year list. And I like it because it's an original model. Yes, it does have little parts about it that take from different models from Nike, but Travis Scott was able to create a very brand new model from Jordan Brands and Nike as well, but Jordan Brand, and bring it to the forefront from the general public. We haven't seen something like this being done as well to this measure since Kanye and the Yeezys. I mean, Drake did drop a Nocta, but it wasn't under the Drake name. Just Don had his Jordan Legacy 312s, but those aren't really his collaboration either. I will say though, Jerry Lorenzo and Fear of God did drop these right here that I do feel like are still dope to this day. And I don't know what happened there. I guess that first model was dope, and then they just started crashing after that. And then next thing you know, he's with Adidas, and then even that hasn't been working out. But let's get back to these. These are hot, bro. I like them. I like them a lot. So some people, they might not like them. Me personally, I do like them, and I like this particular colorway as the first colorway to drop. There are some colorways I've seen that I'm not a fan of, but these, as well as I believe that the dark mocha type of colorway, are dope as hell. And it's a brand new model. A new model, no Jordan 1 this time. Does it have the backward shoes? Yes, but it's not the Jordan 1. Travis Scott is going into his bag. Apparently he's wanting to be more involved with these releases going forth. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of this going into 2025. This model in particular, I'm happy to see. I love the Jordan 1 lows, but I'm looking forward to something new. And I believe Travis Scott is trying to deliver here. And I believe he delivered fairly well for his first brand new model, the Jumpman Jack, number 9. Coming in at number 8, guys, we have the Nike Flight Posit Metallic Gold. I gotta give a huge shout out to Malachi for making this one happen. Salutes, Malachi. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. These also being called the Green Goblins. They dropped them in the clog posits. They also dropped them in what you see here as the Flight Posit. And it's been a long time since we've seen this classic being brought back to life. And right now, foams are back. Maybe to you, they never left, but what I'm saying is they're releasing a lot of them and people are buying them. They're back. And I like that. Even though they're expensive, they're back. That also pays in with the Flight Posit as well. Now, these released on October 30th for a retail price point of $240, and they did well. And this, of course, being called the Green Goblin because, if you don't know, in Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi, you had the Green Goblin wearing these bad boys right here. Salutes to Willem Dafoe. Didn't forget about you, brother, but yes. He was rocking a pair of the Flight Posits. Now, the pair he was wearing, it was definitely green. I don't know if it was spray painted. It was a little bit darker than this one, but these have been given that nickname, the Green Goblin, as well, because, of course, it looks a lot like the colorway that the Green Goblin was rocking, as well as the color of his overall suit. These are extremely, extremely comfortable. They did drop very low key. Like, so a lot of stores just didn't get them, was random, but a lot of stores did get the clog posits, which were a little bit more green and different from this, but we did have these drop in this, and then we had the Sandrift clog posit and then the Green Goblin clog posit that dropped, which are two phenomenal shoes as well, but this one is the original Dundada. One of my favorites and more recent, because this is of October. The other two previously, one being October, but the other one was an April shoe. This one is still on my list because I was really excited about this one at number 8. Another more recent shoe, of course, we can't forget about the Wu-Tang Nike Dunk, man. Now this one may be on a lot of people's sneaker of the year, a cult classic, the Killer Bees, 36 chambers, a friends and family pair that was brought back to life to the general public, releasing November 9th for $150. We finally got this bad boy to the general public. Nike's been bringing out the Terror Squads. They brought us a little while back. They brought out the Rockefeller Record Air Force One, the Terror Squad Air Force One, and now we got one of the bigger ones, in my opinion. I think this one hit a little bit different because this is one of the first collaborations with Nike and a rap group, you know, and it was a mark, like just a big beginning of what we saw later on with like the Terror Squads and the Rockefeller, because this one came out back in 1999 and it was a very, very hardcore exclusive. But of course, very well perceived. They got bought up like crazy. I think they go around 200, 250. You could probably find them for a little bit lower though if you really look around, but I was able to get a pair. We reviewed them. I like the quality of the leather. I like the overall embroidery. I like everything about this, man. And this is going to be one that stays in the collection for a very, very long time. And it may stay on ice for a very, very long time because this is a collectible to me. This is a collectible to me, what it stands for, but also just the history behind it and the impact that this collab had. Like, this is really the start of almost like streetwear mixing in like music, hip hop, mixing into streetwear and collaborating. We did, of course, have the Run DMCs and the LL Cool J's, don't get me wrong, but this one was where it kind of started with Nike hip hop and then Nike kind of jumping in and popping things off back then in 1999. You know, that's one of the ways I look at it in the beginning of street culture as a whole. Like, street culture has been around for years, don't get me wrong. I know the OGs is watching, y'all ready to kill me, but what I'm saying is this collab started something. Feel free to let me know what it started down below if you don't agree with me. Number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have the Jordan 4 Reimagined, released on February 17th for a retail price point of $215. This one is one of those shoes that was different. When it comes to the Reimagined series, it's kind of been hit or miss, to be honest. The Reimagined 3s, love them. The Reimagined Jordan 1 Lost and Founds, love them. But we did have Reimagined Royals that wasn't a big fan of. We also had Reimagined the patent breads, wasn't really a big fan of. So we kind of had a 2 for 2. This one dropped, however, and it was different because the reason why people loved Lost and Founds and white cements was because they kind of looked like aged versions of their original shoes. While the Royal and the Bread was a complete just different shoe. Like, it was a shoe, but the materials were swapped and people weren't really feeling that. This, however, is the same thing. It's the Bread, but material swapped to a leather, and people, they loved it. I love it. These still go on hot. These are still a shoe that people are trying to get their hands on, are paying more money for, above the retail price point for. Since then, of course, we have the Reimagined Jordan 5 coming out in 2025. We also have the Reimagined Black Toe 1 coming out as well, which that one kind of plays in line a little bit with these, where they're like samples, like they were actual shoes that were going to release or are part of a promo, like it was a real shoe. The Jordan 5 is kind of playing on both ends because it's kind of like a little bit like the original, but it has some slight differences, like the 3M backing. But the white laces Jordan did rock though, so it's a little bit of, it's closer to something like this than something like this or the Royals. But with that said, this was a big release. I think it could be on some people's top 10s. I think a lot of these could be on some people's top 10s. This one though, in my opinion, it being a shoe that released back in February, it still is a big shoe that's talked about today in 2024. So with that said, I had to put this on the list, and it's also one of my favorites because a lot of shoes we went through this year, a lot of them didn't stay. This one did. It's been holding on almost close to a year now. Number 6. Coming in at number 5, guys, we have the Nike Foam Posit 1 Eggplant. These released on February 29th for a retail price point of $240, and of course, a classic. This was, I would say this is the first foam of the year that I can think off the top of my head, right, that released. And we did have foams that released earlier last year, the metallic reds and the anthracites, that kind of were like brewing that foam, right? They kind of were brewing like what was to come, because the anthracites did fairly well. We had those two like World of Tomorrow or something that dropped. They were kind of like, eh. Then we had the anthracite. I don't know if the metallic or anthracite came first, which one did, but the anthracites did well for the most part. The metallic reds did okay. I was able to get them for like below retail, but they did fairly well. They still performed well. Eggplants came in, boom. You know, people ate them up. I ate them up. When it comes to foam posits, like when you think of Jordan 1s, those colorways, those Breads, that Royal, that Chicago, right? When it comes to foams, you're thinking of the Eggplant, the Royal. You know, you think of those two colors. You might think of the Galaxy as well, don't get me wrong, but this is one of the iconic, like this OG colorways that are thought about when it comes to the foam posit. You can't really think about a foam and not think about a Royal or an Eggplant or a Pearl that I've been waiting on. But I had to get this one. This is like I'm a novice in the foam posit world, right? And if I want to step out and say like I collect foams or I got foams, like I gotta have an Eggplant, I gotta have a Royal, and I had to get this one, and I got it. You know, bulky, love it, nice color. Might even rock it tonight. I'm stepping out, so might even rock it tonight. But definitely my number 5. Coming in at number 4, another one. Huge shout out to Malachi for making this one happen as well. But we got to talk about another foam posit, and that is the OG, the Dark Neon Royal, or as we call it, the Royal. These released on September 13th, and they retailed for $240. And this is a part of the phone ads, which is a slight different variant of that Royal, but it's a classic Royal because it's the Royal colorway that was seen on the phone ads from back in the day when you could call in on that number. And I believe that when you called that number in, you would have certain celebrities like would pick up the phone and like have like a voice recording talking to you. I think even talking about the shoe as well, like giving you a little bit of the stats or the history around it. It was a phone ad though number, and it had a little number that you can call in that would tell you specifically about this shoe for Nike. And this was the foam posit that was utilized, and it did not end up coming out like this. There was some slight different changes from this pair. This was the pair that was on the ad, but what ended up releasing to the public was different. There was more without the trim, without this, and then I think the foam posit or the carbon fiber was just straight up blacked out. However, on this one, as you can see, it features the same as on that phone ad. You have the black and blue carbon fiber with the Nike swoosh with a blue trim. Another this cult classic brought back and kind of my foam posit journey. And as you can see, when we talk about shoes that were picked up and models, right now I got more foams than anything. That's been my favorite pickup so far this year, been foams. And I'm not even trying, like it ain't done purposely. But give us some Paranormans, give us some Pearls, give us some Cough Drops, give us some Dr. Dooms, maybe even them Pine Greens. I might have to get those. Keep going, Jordan, I'm with you, I'm with you. I didn't get the metallic gold, I probably should have, but I passed. I'm cool, I wanna get a little bit older first, you feel me? But this is number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have the Jordan 3 black cement, which was once thought to be a Reimagined. No, it's just a Jordan 3 black cement. These released on November 23rd for $220, and they brought back the black cement in its truest form possible. The shape, the elephant print, the toe box, they tried to recreate this to its original overall look. The last time we seen it was in 2018, and a lot of people did not get that pair. Some people were not sneakerheads. Some people just did not like the overall shape of the color, or they just did not get it or was unable to get it. This pair, they made so many pairs, everybody and their mama was able to get this one. So this one was big. I think these performed well, great. And I can't say that they did better than the Legend Blue, because there were supposedly millions of Legend Blues, but it just seemed like there was more hype, more excitement for this shoe compared to the Legend Blue. The Legend Blues came and went. It was so quiet. It was a quiet Saturday. Maybe because of the amount of shot drops and all this and stuff. They're doing restocks now. Maybe that's all what it is. But this one, this shoe was a big boy shoe for this particular year. This shoe, and of course, another one we're going to talk about a little bit later. However, this was a big shoe, a monumental shoe, and a necessary shoe for a lot of us sneakerheads out there. And this is number 3, the Jordan 3 black cement. Coming in at number 2, this might surprise you guys, but the KD4 Galaxy. Now, this is a shoe that when I came into doing YouTube, I had just missed it. I missed the 2013 All-Star year. The Galaxy foams, the Big Bang 9s that you see here, I had to grab those. The KD4 Galaxy, the energy joints, the penny cent energy NRG joints. I believe it was the Kobe Cosmos back then as well. I missed that whole overall, like I missed it. I came in like in October of that year doing YouTube in 2013, when of course that had happened during February earlier that year. So I missed out. And these were just too expensive to grab back then, man. They were going for stupid amounts of price. So when they hopped on and gave us these, I had to get them. You know, this is one of my favorite pickups so far this year. It's one of those like full circle moments for me on YouTube. The fact that these shoes that I came into the game are now coming back and re-releasing, and it's been almost 10 years. Like, it's just crazy to think about it. So this is a sentimental shoe, a hype shoe for me. I mean, the style is definitely different from what we rock today, but that don't really matter. We're wearing shoes that are 20, 30 years old already. So what does that even matter? But with that said, this was definitely a very big monumental shoe for me, and that is coming in at number 2. I forgot to mention these released February 15th. For $130. So before we do that, I want to give some quick honorable mentions real quick. First is the KD Nerf, August 9th, 150. Definitely probably some people's big time shoe, sneaker of the year, whatever, maybe on that list, or favorite pickups. Definitely a dope pickup, but for me, it's one of those that goes back to kind of like what I stated before, where for the undefeated, right? It's a shoe that was like a friends and family. It was never attainable. And now it's attainable. This was a friends and family shoe. It was never really attainable for people out there, to the general public. So when the general public got it, it wasn't like the other releases where you tried to grab it, you probably struck out and missed it, and now we have another opportunity to cop. It just hits different. Definitely dope, but not top 10. Next is the Jordan 6 Olympic. This released, of course, August 3rd. Retail was $200. Very nice, real low-key model overall. Happy to have it come back. But, you know, this list is this list. It's there. I got enough respect for it, but it's not one of my top 10s. Y'all might be mad, but the Legend Blue 11, man, we had to talk about it. December 14th, 230, recently released. Nice, but it's hard to say this is one of my favorite pickups of the year at the end of the year. Like, it's too close to 2025. At the same time, my last Legend Blues were dope. I didn't even wear them though. These are nice. I don't know. I'm gonna keep them, but they're not. It's just not as high up there, okay? Unfortunately, I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Last but not least, December 6th, the JTip's and KD Matrix. JTip's killed it out the park with this particular model. I like this model a lot, and I just want to put on. I think it's dope. I got the Omni 9s. They're dope as well, but this one, I think is my favorite JTip's collab from all his collabs that he's done so far with KD. Coming in though at number 1. Oh damn! Almost hit the light, man. The Jordan 4. Military Blue. Released on May 4th for $215, the Jordan 4 Military Blue is a shoe that released back in 2012, before my time, and I've been waiting this whole entire YouTube career to get this shoe to come back out. It finally came back out. Everything else on this list, whether it's a black cement, I owned it already. Legend Blue, I owned it already. Yes, you got some of these other shoes, like I stated before, like the Galaxy, which is a 2013 shoe. This was a Jordan though, from a 4, one of my favorites, one of the OG models to come out and also feature the Nike Air on the back. It's been an extreme long time coming on this shoe. So many pairs were put out there. I think it was a phenomenal release overall. Everybody was able to get pairs as well. And I think for that reasoning, like this is one of my favorite shoes pickups of this year so far. And it was a long time coming for me in particular when it came to this. So it's definitely high up on the list. We had military black joints and all these other type of colors and white thunders and you know, definitely cool. These though have been the ones that people have been waiting on for a long time. No disrespect, lightnings and thunders, we've been waiting for you too, because it was 2006 with those. It was a long time. But this is one that I've been waiting on from a YouTube perspective, and you know, we finally got it. So this is number 1. So yeah, guys, let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. I love y'all as always. I appreciate y'all as always. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one, all right? It's your boy, Tonyd2wild. I'm checking in. I'm checking out. Peace.